Hello students, welcome to Kcse Paper 2 Grammar. Kcse Paper 2 Grammar takes 15 marks of your English examination. That does not mean that the other sections will not be marked or penalized for grammar mistakes. It is important for you to master all the grammatical rules that are required for you in English. Firstly, we are going to look at punctuation. Remember that all your sentences should be well punctuated. Remember in the 844 cycle, you've been taught the punctuation marks in English. This includes sentences start with capital letters and most sentences will end with full stops or question marks. Please remember that anytime you start a sentence in a capital letter. This is one common mistake that students do. It is important to go through the set text, set course books that you have been given. This is where you will find what you will be examined on in Kcse grammar. Kcse grammar examines your ability to master the parts of speech and different sections of the parts of each part of speech. Firstly, you need to know what are nouns and the types of nouns. And you also need to know how to derive nouns from other words using suffixes and prefixes. This is a common question that comes in the Kcse grammar section where you're asked, give the correct form of the verb for each of the following sentences, or give the correct form of the noun for each of the following sentences. You are basically being asked to derive nouns from the words that you are given. So go back to your Form 3 work, revise noun derivation and the suffixes and prefixes that are used to derive nouns. Secondly, we are going to talk about verbs. Remember when you were in Form 1, you were introduced to verbs and you were told that English has different tenses. In Form 1, you learned about the present simple tense, how to form the present simple tense and the past tenses of regular and irregular verbs. Then you came to Form 2. You were introduced to you were further introduced to different tenses, and this included the perfective aspect and the future time and the progressive aspect. You need to know each tense because you might be told to rewrite this sentence using the future perfective aspect. Now, some students up to now are still struggling with their verbs. Please go back to your Form 1 and Form 2 books, revise, do the little exercises that are there so that you learn. Another section that you will be examined on, you're going to be examined on adjectives. You might be asked questions to derive adjectives, to form adjectives, to find out how the adjectives are being used attributively or they are being used after the noun. So you need to learn how to use the adjectives. A common question that comes in adjectives is the order of adjectives. I think different students have different formulas on how they can put the order of adjectives there. So go back to your Form 1, Form 2. Look at the notes, look at the textbooks where you are being taught how to use adjectives. A common examination question is on the pronouns. If the pronouns are used in subjective case or if the pronouns are used in objective case. Kindly go back to Form 2, Form 3. Find out what are the pronouns that are used in subjective case, what are the pronouns that are used in objective case. You might be given a question with two pronouns in brackets and you're told choose the common pronoun. Choose the correct pronoun. And one might be in the subjective and another in the objective pronouns. You can also be used about indefinite pronouns, how to use them and how to pluralize them. You can be asked about Reflexive pronouns, how to pluralize them. Some students make common mistakes writing reflexive pronouns like yourself as two different pronouns, two different words. Remember, yourself is one word, herself is one word. Go back to Form 1, Form 2, and Form 3. Look at the pronouns, types of pronouns, and how we use the pronouns in a sentence. Another question that comes in KCSE is sentence rewrites. This is one section that you need to know your grammar clearly well. Questions might be talking about conditional sentences. Questions might be talking about use of conjunctions. Questions might be talking about use of prepositions. Questions might be talking about how to use nouns, how to use relative clauses. Kindly devise your Form 1, Form 2, and Form 3 grammar work and grammar exercises. That is where the sentence rewrites come from. They don't come from any other place. They want to test you on the mastery of the English grammatical sentence structures. Some of them you have forgotten. Again, another question that you're likely to be asked is the use of conjunctions, subordinating and coordinating conjunctions. You need to find out what are the subordinating conjunctions. How can you use the subordinating conjunctions to form sentences, and how do you use coordinating conjunctions there? Another question, another section you examined on are prepositions. Prepositions. How do you find out the right preposition for the right sentence? Again, go back to revising your Form 2 work. Types of prepositions and how to use those types of prepositions. Yes, it is important for you to master phrasal verbs and the meaning of each phrasal verb. Go back to your dictionaries. Find out come. How many phrasal verbs can we have? Put, how many phrasal verbs can we have? And different other verbs and the phrasal verbs they form. Not forgetting interjections. You might be examined on which is the best interjection to deliver the feelings of surprise, feelings or emotions of shock. So again, it's important for you to go back and find out the interjections. To end articles, remember the definite and the indefinite articles. KCSE Paper 2 basically examines you on your mastery of the parts of speech that you have been taught and how to use them. Students, I believe you are preparing and making adequate plans. Go back to Form 1, Form 2, Form 3 grammar work and the exercises. Revise and revise. There's nothing different that is coming from the exam that you don't know. These are all things that you have been taught and revised. Join me again as we look at KCSE Paper 2 in more details. Thank you. I'd like to pass my regards to my producers, Professor Egara Kabaji, and the co-producers Neka, Kagai, and Pambi Egara. See you. Remember to subscribe and like our YouTube channel for more educative material.